All right. Hello, everybody. This is Jack Starr, and you are listening to Rockum Radio. Keep the metal burning.
Hi, Jack.
Hi, Gino.
Welcome to Rockum.
Thank you, my friend. I'm happy to be here.
How are you today, Jack?
I'm doing good. All is well. We got a beautiful weather here in Florida.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful.
So it's all good, and we have a lot of Canadians that come to Florida. So I see a lot of Canadian people, that are.
And more on the way.
And more on the way. Okay. But we love Canada. That's one thing that I have to say, because I don't want anybody to think that America has any problems with Canada. Our neighbors to the north, we love them. And I visited Canada a few times, and always it's been a great experience.
Yes. The people here love the States, and especially Florida. I love Florida. I've been there.
Oh, that's good.
Yes.
Winter is coming. Now, you sound like you could be from Italy, maybe? Italy or no?
Me?
Yes.
Oh, my name is Italian.
Yes.
But my family is Peruvian.
Oh, from Peru. Okay.
Yes, my family.
I know Peru.
Yeah.
Machu Picchu.
Machu Picchu.
Machu Picchu. And
that's in Cusco.
My wife loves Peruvian food.
Oh, the Peruvian food is fantastic.
It's fantastic. She's friends with some people that have a Peruvian restaurant, in New York City. So Peruvian food is delicious.
Oh, it's fantastic, delicious. I was born in Lima. I live here in Canada. I'm in Kingston, in Ontario.
Yes.
And when I go to Toronto, I try to find a Peruvian restaurant, and go there and eat a lot of Peruvian.
They have it in Orlando. Yes, they have it.
I know. My wife is Peruvian too.
Oh, okay, great, fantastic.
Yeah,
You play music too. You play guitar?
No. I try, but only the doorbell.
Okay.
That was the reason I am a music journalist, because I wanted to be inside the music business, but I couldn't play, so I look another part for me.
That's fine.
Jack, congratulations on your new album, Out of the Darkness Part 2.
Yes, it took a long time, 40 years later, but it is a great album, and I'm very happy that even though it's been a long time, it's been worth the wait. And Brave Words Records, great record label from Canada.
Yes,
and they signed the album. They signed me to a record deal. Thanks also to Jazz Lavery, who not only is the singer on the album, but he has something to do with the label. He's I think maybe one of the owners. I'm not 100% sure, but he does work for the record label.
Yes, they are doing a good job, because I'm checking out a lot of great artists there.
Doing a great job, and so is Michael Brandvold, their publicist that works, for Brave Words.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons is because they put us together today. So I'm toasting that. Okay.
For Michael.
Yes.
The single Rise Up has a powerful message about freedom and liberty. I love that things. What inspired you to write this track, Jack?
Well, I think, in America and throughout the world, we had a bad 3 or 4 years with the COVID and people feeling oppressed and people, being locked down and locked up and hibernating and hiding in their homes because it was a bad situation, this virus.
Yeah.
So, but I think that it was a good thing that it ended and that the people took control again of their lives and of their health, and that people went out into the sun and they rose up. It was like, okay, enough of this. Now we're going to come back and we're going to be stronger and freer than ever. And this is important for people to remember, that we cannot let fear rule our lives. Fear has to be destroyed. We have to live free.
I love that words. It's true. It's true. It's what it is.
That's what it is,
Exactly. How did that songwriting process work between you and Guy Slavery?
Well, I had some ideas, for these songs. Sometimes it starts sometimes with the name of the song. For Rise Up, it really was just, I had a title and I had some words that I wanted to say about my love for freedom and my encouraging other people to realize how important our freedom is. So sometimes it starts with the lyrics. Sometimes it starts with a guitar riff, and I'll start playing the riff, and then I like to collaborate. I'm not, I don't want to do everything myself. Some people, maybe like some artists, like maybe Todd Rundgren, I don't know if you know who he is, but they want to do everything themselves. I like to have cooperation. I met a great bass player locally named Gene Cooper, who played on the album, and he engineered it. And then we were going to have a very famous singer singing on the album. And unfortunately, he didn't want to be a team player. You know what I mean? Like some people, they want to control everything. So we had to find a great singer, and we only had maybe 4 months to look. So Carl Kennedy, the drummer from the Rods, he was one of the ones that suggested. He said, Jack, a great singer, and you know who he is. And I'm thinking, I know him. He goes, yes, you played on his album 10 years ago. He made an album called Dragon's Claw. Okay. And so he asked me to play, a guest solo on the album. And now it's 10 years later, and I'm asking him to play on my album.
Wow.
So everything comes around.
Yes, everything connects too.
Yes.
The life is so crazy sometimes. Yes.
If you live long enough, you will see a lot of strange things. And a lot of good things. Good, My mother lived to be 106 years old.
106 years old. Jesus Christ.
She died.
Plenty life.
It's crazy. She died 2 years ago at 106. I was hoping she could go to 110, but 106 is very good.
Of course, a complete life, more than. She was blessed.
It's crazy, I know.
She was blessed to live all that years.
And she encouraged me to play music. When I was in high school, I would listen to Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, the first albums. And my mother would never say, oh, don't listen to that garbage. She would say, that's good music. Those boys play well. And wow. I said, yes. And my father would say, the drummer of Led Zeppelin is fantastic. and I would say, yeah, it's true. So I've always been encouraged to play music.
Wow, you was very lucky to have the parents.
Yes, very, very important.
All support you.
Yes, they supported me, and they wanted me to make good music, music that I could be proud of, and that people would love. And my mother always said, it doesn't matter if you have 1 million fans or 10,000 fans, as long as they appreciate what you're doing, that's all that matters. And I believe that,
That was a that was an wise advice.
right. It's not how much money you make either. You know, you could be a millionaire or you could be just somebody, living in a little house. It doesn't matter. Are you happy and do you feel fulfilled and satisfied
Exactly.
with your life? You have to look at yourself in the mirror and say, I like myself. I like what I'm doing. I like my creativity, and surround yourself with good people.
Yes, and I
And
can
I've been lucky. I mean,
absolutely.
all the people that I work with, they're all great people. Rhino, great drummer. Uh, Everybody, just wonderful people.
Yes. Wow. Jack, this time you work with Thomas Merkler as a producer. Plus, you co-produce with Giles. How was that experience in the studio?
Well, it's a very rewarding experience, when you surround yourself with great talent. So for me, I love the process of
Mhm.
recording.
Okay.
It's different than playing live. Live, you have the people in front of you, you have the lights, you have the big sound, you have the energy. But in the recording studio, you have to think very analytically. You have to be very precise, and everything has to be checked and double checked, and all the balances and the tuning has to be perfect. Everything has to be. So it's a different thing. I love both, but if I had to pick, I would say playing live.
Oh,
It's more fun.
more fun.
Yes.
Okay. And what was the biggest challenge you faced while making Out of the Darkness Part 2?
Well, one of the challenges was that some of the band lived in Europe, in Germany, and some of the band lived here in Florida. So myself, the bass player Gene Cooper, and Rhino, we all live very close to each other in Central Florida,
Okay.
in the Melbourne area.
Melbourne. Okay.
Um, the singer, Giles Lowry, lives in Germany. The other guitar player, Eric Juris, also lives in Germany. So we had the American part of it and the German part of it, and we had to communicate through the internet, through file sharing.
Wow.
And then our producer, we had two producers. The main producer was a guy named Thomas Merkler. Now, Thomas is an incredible producer. He has golden ears, and he plays guitar also. He played with Paul Di'Anno from
Wow.
Iron Maiden.
Oh,
So we were fortunate to have him as the main producer, and then the co-producer was Gene Cooper, the bass player, and myself. So we had our team here in Florida and their team in Germany, and we had to connect and communicate. And we can do this now because of the computers and the internet and file sharing and all that. So, but it was still difficult, and also sometimes there was a language barrier. In America, we expect the whole world to speak English. We want everybody in the world to speak English, but sometimes they
yes.
don't. Sometimes,
I have the same in Canada.
yeah.
It's
So
English in all the planet, but it's not.
no. So Thomas does speak English, the main producer, but
Okay.
sometimes, we have to watch how we explain things to make sure that he understands. And he has to be careful with what he says to us, so to make sure that we understand. And but the communication was good, very good.
Beautiful, beautiful. When you listen back to the finished record now, what part are you most proud of? The riff, the solos, or the overall vibe?
Well, I think that the whole ensemble, all of it, because a great guitar solo doesn't mean anything if it's not in a great sounding song.
Mm.
The song has to be really well written and well produced. Otherwise, it's just some guy playing guitar over, a bad backing track. It's not good. So I'm really proud of that, the whole thing, not just my playing or Eric Juris's playing or Gene Cooper's great bass playing or Giles's really phenomenal singing. He sang incredibly. Or Rhino, but Rhino always plays great drums, so that was not a problem. What I'm proud of really the most is that when I put the record on, if I'm going, sometimes I'll go to a club, and if they have a big, big stereo system, I want to hear what the album sounds like. And I'll talk to the DJ, I'll introduce myself, and I'll say, if you have time, maybe play one of the songs. So they'll put it on. Usually they'll put on Rise Up because it's the first song on the album.
The first single, yes.
And it sounds incredible. It sounds, as good as Kiss or Dokken or Metallica. It sounds on that level. So when I hear it loud like that, I can just put my arms like this and go, yeah, we did it.
Wow, fantastic.
It's a good feeling.
A good feeling. I think you're happy with this album.
Mm. Yes, I really am. I am on every level, not just the songwriting, not just my playing, every level, the vocals, the production. I think it's one of the best metal albums, really, of the last year. I would say, and I'm not saying it because, I played on it. I just think it really is maybe in the top 10, but it's not for me to say.
And how about the feedbacks? Because you released this album in April, I think, right?
The reviews have been great, really, really great. Most of the reviews have given it an 85 to 9. Out of 10.
Really good, huh?
That's really good reviews. And I don't, and sometimes, I don't think anybody gets a 10 because if you are a reviewer, it would seem to be too suspicious to give somebody a 10, You want to, because nothing in life is perfect. If I listen to the new album, I don't know, by Metallica, and it's a great band, Metallica, but I'm sure I will find some things that I don't like. So nobody gets a 10.
Yes, few.
A few. But you're right.
Few.
Yeah, very few.
If I can choose one,
Yes.
Battle of Hell of Meatloaf, of Gene Steinman. This album,
Yes.
writing and production.
I'll tell you a funny story about Bat Out of Hell.
Tell.
I auditioned to be the guitar player for Meatloaf.
No way.
Yes, that's true. When I was many, many years ago, and I went to the recording studio, and Meatloaf told me, he said, well, I played, he said, okay, we're going to play a song. Just do a solo. So I played, and the people in the recording studio were holding up lighters like this, holding up
Like in the
like to say that they liked. There was about 8 people behind the glass, and at the end of the my audition, I talked to Meatloaf, and Meatloaf basically said that they wanted someone that played exactly like the guitar player on the album, which was Todd Rundgren.
Okay, Todd, right?
Todd Rundgren played on the album, and so I said, okay, well, I could probably learn to do that, but I like to put a little bit of myself, when I play, and the people in the studio, they seemed to like what I was doing. And then he kind of, to be really honest, he didn't really like, we didn't like each other. That's it.
Okay.
I didn't get a good feeling from him. And I think maybe he thought that I should have learned exactly Todd Rundgren's, guitar solo. So, and that's okay. And I'm happy. I think they ended up finding someone to play on the tour. But first of all, for me, I would have preferred to play on the recording.
Of course. Yes.
So to play on the tour, it didn't bother me anyway that I didn't make it, because I saw the reaction of the people in the studio, and I was happy. I walked out of there feeling good, and I was thinking, okay, and maybe it's better that I.
Well, you're very lucky to have that kind of experience.
Well, I auditioned for Kiss also, and other people,
Oh,
yeah. I think there's a lot of people that recommended me,
okay.
and so it was a good thing, that I did some auditions, and but really I was happiest starting my own band, which was Virgin Steel, and we became very popular all over the world.
Yeah.
And that was what I wanted to do. I wanted to do my own thing, which was kind of a famous word from the 1970s. Do your own thing. It was like the hippies,
Yeah. Talking about Virgin Steel, you co-founded the band in the early
Yes.
80s and play on the first 2 albums, the best ones, in my opinion.
Yeah. Those are the big albums. Yeah.
Amazing albums. Amazing. Looking back, what stand out most from those years?
Well, I think what I realized was that heavy metal was big all over the world. In my mind, before, I thought it was big in America, in Detroit, in Los Angeles, in New York. And then we started getting fan mail from Poland, from Yugoslavia, from Italy, from all over the world. We were getting from South Africa. And because back then we didn't have the internet. This is 1981, 1982, 1983, 1984. No internet. People were writing letters to our fan club. And we would get letters, one time a girl wrote me from South Africa. She said, Jack, I love your album. I love your guitar playing. My life sucks. I'm not happy because the people in my country are fighting. The blacks and the whites are always fighting. And when I listen to your music and Virgin Steel, I can forget about all the problems in the world. So it made me very proud, to hear this.
Yes. You help people in a different world right now, because as you mentioned, we didn't have the internet in those years. So everything was with paper and a pen. And waiting all the postal service how many months it takes from here, North America, to Africa.
Yeah, even when we came out with Virgin Steel, there were all these fanzines, little magazines about metal, and then some big magazines. And so we were doing interviews because somebody would send us a letter with the questions, and then we would send back a letter. And then we started doing telephone interviews when it was in America, but we couldn't do telephone interviews to England. It was too expensive. In 1982, to do a 30-minute phone interview might have been $150.
Oh my God, I had money in those years.
But I was crazy, and I still did some. But I wish, it was crazy.
Jack, do you still feel those songs are part of your DNA as a guitarist?
They really are. Songs like "Danger Zone" and all those songs from the Virgin Steel, all of them. Not Rise Up. I think of Rise Up. I think it's like a Virgin Steel song. But all those songs, like "Don't Say Goodbye Tonight." It's an incredible song. It's on the second Virgin Steel album, and yes, it is part of my DNA because when you make a great album, it's like bringing a baby into the world. So these albums were my little babies. And they'll always be with me. 2 albums and 2 EPs that I did.
Yes. Then with Burning Star in the
Yes.
80s, you carried the flag of the American heavy metal. How do you see that era today compared to the current scene?
Well, I think today heavy metal is not as big as it was. Because you see these festivals and people think, well, it's big, but a lot of times these people are not. They're going to festivals to have fun, to have camping, to see 30 or 40 bands at once. But when I was doing a lot of the original shows, sometimes it would just be Virgin Steel or Virgin Steel and Motorhead or Virgin Steel and Manowar. We would do these shows and we would have 4,000 or 5,000 people just for that in a theater. But I mean, I love metal the way it is too now. I love having fun and playing at festivals, and I want to do more of it. I just think that the fans aren't as fanatical as they were. They love metal, but they're not as fanatical, as they were, because back then, if you were into metal, you were discovering something that was not well known. And so you had a camaraderie with other people that were discovering heavy metal. Now, heavy metal's been around for 50 years now. You're not discovering anything. So there's still a camaraderie, but it's not the same.
No, it's not the same. Absolutely.
Like when I was 15 years old, okay, I got in trouble in school for having long hair. So nobody in my school, except for 2 other boys, had long hair. So the teacher was like, "Jack Starr, you have to go to the principal's office. You are in trouble."
Yeah.
Right, yes.
Okay.
So I went to the principal's office, and there were 2 other boys there. And it was like, we looked at each other and we gave each other the thumbs up. And we knew that we felt the same and we had the same likes and tastes, and that we were going to be friends because we were fighting the establishment. Now, having long hair, short hair, purple hair, having a nose ring, having tattoos, none of it matters because everyone is doing it.
Exactly.
And if they're not doing it, it doesn't matter either because they can do it. and no one, it's not a big deal. If you walked into school today with purple hair and a nose ring and tattoos and a t-shirt that says "I love Satan," it wouldn't matter. It's nothing. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So there is a difference between when I was young and now. And but I don't want it to sound like, oh, it was better when I was. No, not better, just different.
Exactly. You know, the good thing to talk the pioneers like you,
Yeah,
the music in the music scene and North American heavy metal is in,
yeah.
is that you can tell people how was exactly in the past the real story. Because now it's like they have another idea. Somebody sell an idea that is not true. Just heavy metal is a passion for music and enjoy
Right.
with your friends, in my opinion. You
It's
don't.
it's like being part of a club. You know, you're part of. You can be part of the heavy metal club, and that's a good thing because young people need things to identify with because otherwise they can feel very alienated. And so they need to feel they belong. Sometimes they may come from a broken home where the parents are not together. They may come from a bad situation, where maybe there's an abusive parent, and but then they can go into this other world of metal and they can feel good. And people like myself, we have a sacred duty to give them the best music that we can and to make them feel like they belong and to make them feel proud of themselves.
Yes. You know, I like to hear you. I like to hear you, honestly. This make me feel good. And
Thank you.
after more than 40 years in the scene, what keeps you passionate in creating new music, Jack?
Well, sometimes I feel that there is a quid pro quo,
Okay.
meaning if you do something right over here, then something good will happen over there. If you make an incredible album, then good things have to happen. So with each album, I want to make better and better because I want to see better and better results. So it's important for me to never give up. I don't ever want to use a drum machine.
Never.
Uh, I was very, very disappointed with the former singer in Virgin Steel. I mean, he still is in Virgin Steel, or he still has a band that he calls Virgin Steel, but he uses a drum machine on the albums,
A drum
drum
machine.
samples.
It's
I'll never do that.
a
Never,
software. That's a software.
never. If even if it costs more money, and it does cost more money, because it's harder to record real drums. You have to, you have to bring in, a big drum set. You have to have at least 15, 20 mics in the studio. You have to have a big enough place to record it. You
Exactly.
have to have a great drummer that can play great drums, like Rhino, like Carl Kennedy,
Wow, Rhino.
fantastic drummer. So so it costs more, but if you love your fans and you respect them, you will do that. Same thing with recording. Anybody can sit in their room and make an album, with a computer, but it's not going to sound as good as a real production where you went and had real producers, real studios with real microphones, not something that you buy on Amazon for $100. I'm talking about real microphones that cost $10,000 a microphone, real. equalizers. You know,
Yes, sir.
I believe that you have to invest in yourself, you know, and if you don't believe in yourself, then how can you expect anyone else to believe in yourself? So all albums, the last, I would say, the last, well, all the albums, but especially the last five albums, uh, they sound great. You know, somebody's, if they buy the Burning Star albums
Mhm.
and they go home and they listen to it, whether it's on the headphones or whether big speakers, it sounds amazing. And that is something, you know, I got my biggest compliment. Somebody emailed me, you know, and they said, Jack, I just bought your album today. I had never heard it before, but I knew that it was going to be good because your last four albums have all been better than each one. So,
Yes.
that to me was an incredible compliment that I have built up this kind of credibility,
Exactly. And quality.
the quality, and I'm going to maintain that. I just finished an album with Rhino and a guy named Mike LaPond, who's
Yes.
he
Michael
plays in
Paul, I
Symphony X. Yes,
Symphony
so we
X,
just did an album,
Silent
and
Assassins.
he's a great bass player, and that's not on a record label. We'll see. Hopefully, we'll get it signed to a record label. It's a great album, and the quality is again going to be great. And Mike, great bass player. Rhino plays great. I did the guitars on it, and the biggest surprise is that Rhino is a great singer. He sounds like as good as anybody. He's as good as anybody. I I can't even give you an example. You know, if you like I don't know, the singer of Boston or the singer of the Scorpions
Okay.
or the singer of you know, a really great voice, very melodic. So yeah, it's a good album. It's named after the street that he lives on. He lives on a street named after a flower called Exora.
Xora.
Exora. And that's the name of the album.
Okay.
So, yeah. So we'll see what happens, you know. But I just wanted to say that I'm not plugging it or promoting it because we don't have a record deal. But to show you that I like to keep busy. I think it's important in life to stay busy and keep creating because it keeps you young. You know, you when you're busy doing stuff, it's easy to sit on the couch and do nothing. You know.
No, 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 no.
Yeah.
Well, I see your life, and I did my research. I know you, and I know your works, and yes, you never stop, and that's great.
You know, and that's why I was so fortunate. I'm going to hold this up because I want everybody to see it. I don't know. Can you see it? Okay.
Yes, yes,
That's the new album, and you know, I'm just happy that Brave Words is really promoting this album. Because you know, an album can be great, but if no one knows about it, then it's not going to be heard. So they're doing a good job promoting it, and now we have to get more shows and do some more shows.
Any plans to come to Canada, Jack?
I would really love it because you know, it makes sense because the record label is from Canada and we love Canadians, you know, we love the country and the beauty of Canada. It's such, you know, I love Florida because it's beautiful, but I also love Canada. I think maybe these might be the two most beautiful places to visit, Canada and Florida.
Yes, absolutely. And you know, Brave Horse is here in Ontario. in
It's
Toronto.
in Ontario. So,
I'm in Kingston, so 2 hours. Perfect. I can go
and,
to Toronto.
all right. And,
If I go to Florida, maybe I don't return because I
and you probably know Tim Henderson, right? The owner of Brave Words.
no,
Tim,
I don't have the pleasure, but I hear about.
yeah. Well, if you can know of any places, any festivals that are going on, either contact me personally or contact Michael Branville, our publicist at Brave Words, because we would be interested in playing, in Canada.
Yeah, okay, perfect. Finally, Jack, what
Yes.
message would you like to send to your fans and to the Rockum audience listening right now?
Well, I would like to basically say to the fans, thank you for listening. And that's really number one. I want to say thank you because, you know, it's easy to like an artist that's being promoted by a $1 billion company like Warner Brothers, or, it's easy to like Lady Gaga or Sabrina Carpenter. It's easy to like those people because they're on the radio 24 hours a day. They're on YouTube. They are being pushed, but it's hard to like Jack Starr or to like Dragon's Claw or to like Yngwie Malmsteen or to like, it's hard. You have to, if you go into a record store, it might not be there. My record or the Dragon's Claw record or Alcatraz might not be in the store because it's a specific kind of music. So the people that buy these albums and listen to it, they are making a big effort to become a fan. And because they are making this effort, I want to tell them thank you.